Hi, thanks for joining us. This is Kathy with FBCC. As part of the Workforce Flathead Opportunity Fair, we are talking with people who are part of community resources that could be useful. Today, I'm talking with Casey Driscoll. She has a couple of different hats. One is homeless education liaison with School District 5 and 50. And she is also the director of the HEART program. So Casey, thank you for joining us. And could you share what those hats mean? What do you provide to people in our community?
Sure. So I'll start with the homeless education liaison piece. What that means is kind of in the community identifying through the school district students that qualify as being homeless under the McKinney-Vento Act. So that might look a little different than what we typically would think of homeless as being literally out on the street. Of course, it includes that, but as a child, it also includes a couple other potential living situations that would qualify as homeless. So it could be doubled up because of financial hardship, living with other friends or family. It could be living in a hotel or motel, things like that. So we work really hard to identify those students within the school districts so that we can make sure that they're aware of their educational rights to attend school, to get free breakfast and free lunch, and then just to make sure that they know we're a resource for them. And that resource that's really neat that we have in the school districts 5 and 50 that we offer to the larger community starts with the HEART program. So that's kind of a 4-piece program that's been around for a couple years now. And what that is essentially a community resource. Anyone that has students, so K through 12 primarily is who we're focused on serving, that might need a little extra help. You know, if they're in a tight spot financially, they can come to the Heart Locker and shop for their kids for clothing, bedding, school supplies, and hygiene products. So that's often referred to as the Heart Locker. So a lot of people just know us as the Heart Locker because that's kind of how it started. Mm-hmm. So we don't require a student to be living in homelessness to come in and shop. If a student needs something, no questions asked, are here for them to come and get whatever they need to help them be successful in school. The HEART program also has a component that we call the HEART Markets. So at the 3 area high schools, GHS, FHS, and LEC, we do have little HEART Markets, kind of like a little pantry at the school. So kids can grab some extra food for after school or for the weekend. So we like to keep those stocked with snacks and things that they can bring home should they need them. And then of course we try to keep them stocked as well with some hygiene stuff if that's a need that they have, or school supplies at the markets. And the other piece of the HEART program is the HEART Fund. So any money that comes in, we're able to use that to directly support students and families. So things like gas cards, you know, if you've got a bunch of kids and you've got to drive them around and that's a pain point for you financially, we can assist with that for families in our districts. I think that's pretty much the gist of it.
Well, it sounds like a lot. And I'm curious, as far as can any student who feels like they could use some help with some of the services you provide, can anyone reach out to you, or do they need to be within those guidelines?
That's a good question. I would say anyone that is looking for assistance, any kind of connection to the community, we are happy to have a conversation and connect them to the resource in the community that makes the most sense. So regardless of which district your kids are in, if you have kids and you're in the general Flathead area and you just don't know where to look for help, we're definitely here to help point you in the right direction.
Okay, that's terrific. And I have been inside the clothing area, and it looks like you have some really wonderful resources in there. To the point where, did I hear something about prom dresses at one point?
Yeah, so that's an event that we do, and I wasn't expecting to have prom, but I mean, we're trying to get back into our old normal. So yes, we do have a ton of prom dresses, and again, that wouldn't be something that we would limit to our district. Of course, we would want our district to have a priority, but they've already done their shopping days. And we've got guy and gal prom stuff. So that's another added bonus, special things like that sometimes we have.
Oh, okay. Well, and that's good information to know, just, here at the college to have resources for students in our community. One other thing that you mentioned is that you mentioned other school districts. Are there people who do what you do in other school districts?
Yeah, so we actually, there are homeless education liaison at each different district. So sometimes that looks a little different at different schools. So it might be, an assistant principal or a coach who also has the title of homeless education liaison. So as long as there's always one person who's kind of there as an advocate for students and families, they might also be doing something else that doesn't exactly look like the HEART program. But for example, up in Browning, they have a similar family center, and we actually have a shed. So any of our extra donations that we get in, clothing and school supply and hygiene wise, we actually keep in a shed for the Browning version of the Heart Locker. They don't really call it the same thing up there, but anything extra that we can send up. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to because of COVID, but we're hoping to pick back up once they're able to take those donations in.
Okay. Well, and I know I stopped down there one day and it looked like you had quite a few donations. Are there particular donations that you could use?
We just ask it's lightly used, in pretty good shape, and that it's something that a kindergartner up to a 12th grader would wear.
Right.
I joke about old lady fashions, like what I might wear isn't really probably what the teachers are wearing.
Okay. So keep that market.
Yeah, exactly. So the store is all run 100% by our awesome volunteers, but they are volunteers, so they're not here all the time, and they do work really hard. But when we get in stuff, sometimes that we can't use, it's just that much more stuff to sift through. But we are really lucky. We get a lot of amazing donations in. But usually when, sometimes individuals will call or organizations want to collectively do something for the Heart Locker, I would say things we typically need would be like snacks to keep the high school stocked and to have, for when kids come in here to shop, keep them entertained and, get them a nice healthy snack. Mm-hmm. And hygiene stuff, school stuff, any of that stuff really, we wouldn't say no to.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you for sharing that. And how do people find you?
Well, we have a website. We do have a website, the Kalispell HEART Program.org, I believe. We are linked through the school district website, so we should be easily found in that sidebar there. And then our physical location, we are right behind the Taco Bell.
Mm-hmm. In Kalispell?
So we are, in Kalispell. So we're right behind Taco Bell. Our address is 514 East Washington Street.
Okay. And is there a phone number people can call, or is the email or stopping by the best way to do it?
Sure, yeah, either or. The phone number here at the Heart Locker is 751-3630. Just ask that, you give me a little time to reply, because I'm not always directly by the phone. Or the email would be my full last name, the first letter of my first name, so driscollc at sd5.k12.mt.us.
Got it. Okay, so there's a few ways people can get in touch, and they can always find you on the School District 5 website.
Yes.
Okay, terrific. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to share what you can offer to community members, and I wish you the best. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.